שלום לכם. שאלנו מה אפשר לעשות כדי להילחם בפייק ניוז, ומושג שחזר הרבה פעמים הוא חשיבה ביקורתית. המרואיין הבא שלנו יהיה דוקטור ג'ון קוק, מהמרכז לתקשורת שינוי אקלים באוניברסיטת מונאש באוסטרליה. חמוש בניסיון בציור קומיקסים, הוא עתה חוקר תקשורת שינוי אקלים, ומי שעומד מאחורי המשחק הדוד העצבני, לפיתוח חשיבה ביקורתית. וכדי לדבר איתו עכשיו, נעבור לאנגלית. Shalom and welcome to Dr. John Cook, a postdoctoral research fellow at the Climate Change Communication Research Hub at Monash University. Dr. Cook studies climate change communication and how to disprove misinformation, and is the proud father and creator of the Cranky Ankle app for developing critical thinking. We will discuss all that soon, but first, John, how did you get into a career in the fighting fake news business?
It began, funnily enough, with me getting into arguments with my father-in-law. He, at a family get-together once, started arguing that climate change wasn't real, that humans weren't causing it. And when I went and started researching his arguments, I realized that there was no science behind it. And like any son-in-law who's competitive and wants to beat his father-in-law in an argument, I started researching the issue and summarizing for myself what the peer-reviewed science said about all the different climate denial arguments. Eventually, I realized that this was something that other people might find useful as well. So I published all these debunkings on the internet, on the Skeptical Science website.
And how do you yourself differentiate fake news from disagreements or mistakes?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In 2018, I sat down with some critical thinking philosophers at the University of Queensland, and we worked out a methodology for taking claims, deconstructing them into arguments, and then systematically analysing them to see, are these arguments logically valid? Are the premises true? And by going through that systematic process, we were able to take the most common arguments from climate deniers, deconstruct them, and identify all the different areas where they used logical fallacies or rhetorical techniques to distort the facts.
So if we go back to your father-in-law, why do you think people believe misinformation, specifically when these are science-related claims that are publicly denied for years by the relevant experts and science organizations?
When it comes to climate change, the main reason why some people don't accept climate science, it's not really about the science at all. It's more people don't like the solutions that are being proposed to solve climate change. And so not liking the solutions, they deny that there's a problem in the first place that needs solving. Unfortunately, this results in people denying the scientific consensus on climate change and casting doubt and generating a lot of confusion about the reality of climate change.
But if people don't believe it because they don't want to believe it or they don't like the solutions, how it would help to inoculate them to fake news? They don't want to know it's fake.
What I found in my research is that when you explain the techniques used to mislead people, the logical fallacies, the rhetorical deceptive techniques, that works across the political spectrum. No matter whether you're conservative or liberal, nobody likes being misled. And so while climate misinformation by itself tends to work more effectively with people who are politically conservative, when you inoculate them, when you explain the techniques used to, then misinformation doesn't work whether people are conservative or liberal.
I see. But I must say that understanding logical fallacies sounds like a serious cognitive labor. Would people engage with such a demanding activity in an everyday scenario?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Critical thinking is hard, and our brains are not really hardwired to do that slow, difficult thinking. I mean, we can do it, but it's not easy. And that's why most of us don't do it. And so that's what I've been struggling with as a communicator and as an educator. How do you make it easier for people to do critical thinking. And I found two really powerful tools for doing it. The first is humor. If you take the bad logic in misinformation and transplant it into absurd, extreme situations, that makes that logic much more concrete and engaging with people. So using analogies to explain bad logic can be quite humorous, entertaining, and accessible to people. And the second way that I've been trying to make critical thinking easier for people is through games. If you use games to get people practicing critical thinking and use all the gameplay elements like collecting points and leveling up, that motivates people to play more and more, get further into the game. And the more they practice critical thinking, the easier it is and the better they get at it.
So I'm asking you as someone who trained a lot in that kind of things. So what should I do when my aunt shares, fake news on the family WhatsApp group?
I guess the first step then is educate yourself on what the logical fallacies are, so that you can spot them out in the wild, in conversation or on social media, or on the internet, or in the media. So learning the different rhetorical techniques of science denial is the first step to inoculating yourself, so that you can firstly not get misled yourself, but secondly, then when you see it in conversations or online, you can call it out. Not just inoculate yourself, but try to help inoculate other people as well. And I guess the way to learn logical fallacies, then that's been the main focus of my work, is creating resources that help people learn the fallacies of misinformation and hopefully in fun, engaging ways.
Well, Dr. John Cook, thank you so very much for speaking with us and for helping us spotting fake news and helping others spot fake news.
My pleasure. It was great to talk to you.